the continuous from the last class is about the introduction to media effect, and today, as part of the probably the first chapter of the reading package, and I want to show you, 3 video clips today before we start the lectures. One is media effect on our mind. It's about 5 minutes in video clips, very short video clips, but it's really good. Testing a lot of important questions about the media effect, especially our human beings' brain and minds. And then moving on, the second video is about one of the media functions. It's probably it's a stereotypes. It's very popular stereotypes. One of the important key issues in stereotypes probably beauty, the concept of the beauty. So we'll see the video clips about how media sets the concept of the beauty for the human beings. And then the last video, I'm not a big fan of the site, the singer in Korea. Very hot days today. And last night, just happened to watch it. The side video, side is concert. It's about 2 hours programs by NBC from the 11 p.m. And I'm just really struck. Really entertaining and actually along the news stories about more than 100 million view in the YouTube. I read that kind of news stories, and the site actually went to the United States to make a contract to be global singers. So I heard about this kind of news, and then I watched the video of the site movies, a music video, really entertaining, and I want to share these video clips and then some reactions. Probably a lot of hot issues today, the impact of the YouTube on the music industry, especially music industry and entertainment industry. So we're going to watch the video clips about the last clips of the side music video. If you don't, still watching. It's part of the class. All right. Why don't you make some memo from the video clips, okay? It's part of the lectures and the impact of the media on our mind, okay?
Stimulus package that President Obama signed into law, and I'll quote from an editorial in the Los Angeles Times. The final version signed Tuesday states that only U.S. steel and other materials will be used in the public works projects funded under the $787 billion measure.
Clearly the financials are still taking long. It's going to take a while. In the meantime, the consumer's going to suffer and the economy will suffer with it.
And the distress in the financial and housing sector is
My station's long, yeah.
that you don't want to see.
A million here, a million there. about how to move forward in Iraq. Just like there were honest differences about whether or not we should go to war.
Probably made by anti-war. I suppose actually this video.
There was a war going on for your mind.
It's still, it's not a really episodic, little stories about this video clips, but, show us the powerful impact of the media. A lot of different, sides of the, set. And it's part of the mini facts. The second video clips, I like this. Let's watch the video.
Is my skin too pale? Really not bad. Do you think I can
can tell us today about women. It tells us, just as it did 10 and 20 and 30 years ago, that what's most important about women is how we look. The first thing the advertisers do is surround us with the image of ideal female beauty. So we all learn how important it is for a woman to be beautiful and exactly what it takes. Women learn from a very early age that we must spend enormous amounts of time, energy, and above all, money, striving to achieve this ideal and feeling ashamed and guilty when we fail. And failure is inevitable because the ideal is based on absolute flawlessness. She never has any lines or wrinkles. She certainly has no scars or blemishes. Indeed, she has no pores.
My life is brilliant. My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel, of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man, but I won't lose sleep on that, 'cause I've got a plan.
Very short video clips, cast a lot of questions regarding the, a certain recognition and perception of the concepts, especially this video focused on the behavior. Probably the first video and second video is actually more focused on the impact of the media, especially on the perceptions and minds and cognitions and the knowledge. It's kind of more personal levels. And this video, the next video, is more focused on, actually, I'm gonna give you the discussion about the media impacts on industry. Not personal levels, more macro levels, industries. So now it's become one of my favorite singers. Let's see. Okay. Let's start with the. A lot of discussions about the impact of the one song change the images of the the traditional K-pops from the idol stars to more fun entertainment style, and also in terms of the industry levels, it's hard to calculate to correct the amount of money this video clips actually make across the world. Not only for the money, financial terms, but a lot of discussion about the cultural values and change the people's mind, people's images in Korea is more positive. Okay, I see. So we have to talk about that. So we have to talk about after watching the video, okay? All right. Original version of this.
오빤 강남스타일 강남스타일 낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 풍경 있는 여자 밤이 오면 심장이 뜨거워지는 여자
just flash mob of this class. You know what? This video hit by the 100 million views, 100 million viewers last 4 or 5 weeks. And then more important thing actually, not only for the original version of the video, this is actually part of the reaction video clips. Reaction video clips. This video actually hit by the more than millions. So actually nobody calculate how many clicks and how many views and how many purchases actually a lot of not free media contents. That's really amazing size of the money is actually is going on. Maybe it's only one video, music video. So that's the actually impossible sort of, but that's not possible by the recent technology, especially most of benefit from the YouTube. Most of benefit from YouTube as a new media, right? Okay. That's what's the reaction. One of the reaction one. Still very interesting.
Video reaction. We're gonna do another request, and this one's been requested a lot. Well, because it's so cool. I don't know. I don't even know the band. So. It's Psy. Psy is a YG artist. Sorry, my hair is so messy, but I don't think anything.
Neither did I. Like, we went hiking today, so we're kind of already in that state of like, whatever, we are nature-ishness, so therefore we must look like we are natural.
This is probably the only day I have not done something with my hair since it's natural. Because we got so many requests for this, we're gonna try to shout out and do it as fast as we possibly can.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, wait.
It's a marathon.
Gather our chi. So we've got girls, U131, Anna Miley, Pisu912, and John Kelly.
We got PJs 719, Jake Lee. Oh my gosh, ZXZX, XCSSA.
It's more like
and Creepon.
Okay. Thanks for the request.
I'm excited. I have no idea what I'm expecting here, but sad, happy, fun. Like, what's going on?
Somebody told me that Dee is featuring in this, but I don't know if it was in the video or the song. So we're gonna find out which one it is.
Jeannie's in this?
Okay, we're gonna see it now. She's back now.
Oh, that ain't us, Katie. It's like a stardust. Short. Look at it! Yeah, can't you go here? Come Oh, yeah, you got sweating. Oh, you work here? You're going crap in the wind. Like all of this luck, really. The girl was eating it like it's coming up bigger.
You know what? This reaction video hit over the millions of viewers. And then they, after watching this reaction, and then they try to buy the original, So it's kind of a, interactive, effect. the media themselves and the audience. So they first the audience reaction, and then the play very important role of the markets. All right. So back to the lectures. After watching the 3 video clips, and you know what? I really want to talk about the effect of media. And last time I mentioned the sleeping effect, right? Sleeping effect. But as you watch the video, it's not the same level of effect. It's like individual effect and social effects and short-term effects and accumulated long-term effects. And probably the first 2 video clips is more focused on individual effects and accumulated long-term effects. And the third video clip is more focused on industry levels, market size, and more social effects. And in other words, industry effect or market effect and economic effect. So media is not only for one side of the one part of the say, probably media and media technology it's really central and crucial actors which really change ourselves, which actually change ourselves. That's in terms of cause and effect, the relationship, cause and effect, probably media cause. Media cause the social change. Media cause the people's perceptions. Media cause market size. Media cause and economic effects. So that's actually assumption for this class why we learn the theory of media effects. So as I mentioned in the last class, we're more focused on the paradigm today. Media research paradigm right here. Why we study media? Why we study media effects? That's the reason why we study the media effect right there. Media became very important things, especially during the World War. WW means World War. Okay, 2 world wars. Early 1910s and 1920s, World War I, and 1940s, World War II. During the 2 world wars, media became very important technologies. Why? Why media became so important during the wars?
To send out propaganda.
Why? Media has really strong propaganda tools. Newspapers and magazines, even just a piece of papers, we call their posters, and the TV, movies were very important advertising and propaganda tools during the World War. So that's actually why media effect is important. Why we study the media effect? That's the media's role during the World Wars. It's actually historical starting points. 1910s and 1940s. And then the media it's not actually the traditional the split, traditional area and traditional field, because the media before the newspapers and movies and radio and TV, we used to have the mathematics, okay, the studying histories. We used to have the mathematics, we used to have chemistry, we used to have physics, we used to have the philosophies and sociology and political science, economics. Those are very strong, historical and traditional field of the study, right? But media is a new field of the studies, especially since 1910s, World War. Okay, interdisciplinary. What this means? Interdisciplinary. It's actually a mixture of the different disciplines, especially in media and journalism and mass communication field. Is a mixture of the sociology and economics and psychology and political science, even education. Why? Media relates to economics. As we watch the video clips, the site music video itself is money. Itself has logic of economics, right? So media are economics. Media sometimes relates to political science. Why? Media is very important for the elections. Campaigns, media campaigns, right? Media is quite important tools for advertising. So much advertising and media. So media, our field, communication field, is not only traditional field, it's a very interdisciplinary. That's the reason why we study the media, why we study the media effect. And then I'll talk about research of the media effect later. And why we study the media effect, rapid growth of the media technology. So rapid change of the time. And the most important, I said, the most important crucial facts which change our society. That's media. Everybody will do that. Smartphone, for example. How much smartphone influence our lives? That's big questions, but important questions. So much change and so much impact on our lives of the media, right? That's why we study the media. And then before internet and smartphone, TV. TV was, unprecedented technology which has impacts on our history. TV was mainstream media, dominant media until the internet emerged. So during the 1960s and 1970s, even 1980s, before the 1990s, TV was dominant mass media which changed so much in our lives and our history. As we watch the video, TV sets image of their beauty. TV changed our perception of the concept, perception of the reality, perception of the traditional values. Okay, that's a huge impact of TV. And then internet, and moving on, SNS, Twitters, and Facebooks, and more recently, the smartphone, right? So, still the new technology coming up, and we don't have time to calculate the exact effect of the new coming technologies. That's why we study really this class. As a college students, you have a certain critical perspective, and you have a certain paradigm to measure the effect of the media, the effect of the new technology in our society and on human beings. That's why we study the media effect in the class, okay? All right, I'll talk about now the history of the media research. Now, the important part of the today's class is understanding of history of the media research, especially media effect research, okay? Media effect research. A lot of studies done about media effect. For me, just 30 minutes, we really skip the history of the media effect research, traditions. Don't sleep. 100 years and 30 minutes. Okay? If you sleep 2 minutes, probably you missed 10 years. Right? Okay. Very first part of the media effect research paradigm we call mass style theory and powerful media effect. So in 1920s, very early stage of the media effect research, we call the powerful media effect paradigm, powerful media effect paradigm, and one of the important theory you have to memorize, bullet theories. In Korean, 탄환효과 이론, that's Korean pronunciation. Bullet theories, it's the most representative theory in the powerful media effect paradigm. We learned about SR models already. The last words, right? The last words. Essential models. Essential models are actually, paradigm of their bullet theories. Really powerful media effects. And they assume that very instant and direct and very simultaneously and harmoniously uniform effects from their media. Instant, direct, uniform effect from the media. In other words, very strong media effects. Strong. We say the strongest. If you shoot bullets, probably kill the people, right? Very strong. Strong media effect. Assume that during the early stage of 20th century. And the members of the audience are powerless. Though actually they didn't assume any powers of the audience, any powers of the receivers. So more power on the media themselves, no power on the audience and people and public. That's the strong media effect, powerful media effect. That's actually same thing right here, mass society, mass media, right? Mass media assume they are strong media and powerless audience. Mass media assume strong media and powerless audience and public. So during the very strong, powerful media effect paradigm, they assume more power on media, less power on audience. And as we mentioned there, during the wars, propaganda tools, media play, and yellow journalism really focus on sex and gender issues, and sets stereotypes of the images of male and female and beauty. You know what? Quite a long time ago in TV dramas, the images of the male actors and images of the female actors quite fixed. It's more strong and more active role of the male actors and the more passive and the more negative roles of the female actors. That's actually stereotypes of the media, and also they set a certain value, social values of the image of genders. That's one of the media function and one of the media effects, especially during the powerful media effect paradigm. Okay, moving on from the very powerful media effect paradigm, and 1940s. Well, this is 1940s. Powerful effect. That's 1910s and 1920s and 1930s. And then, right at the World War II, that's actually 1945, right? 1945. Right at the World War II, a lot of scholars criticized the role of the media. The media, that's not good. That's so negative impact on the people. That kind of criticism is actually booming up during the right after the World War II. And then a lot of studies done about media effect, and that's actually called limited effect paradigm or limited effect perspective. So growing body of the scientific and empirical research traditions. And media effect on attitude change in political context. You know what? This is a very important thing, right? Attitude. Why attitude is important? When you talk about media effects, there are certain different levels, different types of the media effect. First of all, we say perceptual effects, right here. It's very related to cognitive effects, we call it. Perceptual and cognitive effects. You know, perceptual and cognitive effects is related to knowledge and concepts. You know what? Media are important channels and technology which deliver knowledge and concepts of our reality. That's true. Right? That's true. But media have impact and effects, especially perceptual level and cognitive level of the analysis. That's true. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. But right after World War II, a lot of scholars criticize in terms of attitude, behavior. Attitude, behaviors. No, this is knowledge level, knowing, right? Knowledge level, and then more strong levels, attitude levels, and the most strong levels actually behavior levels. Media didn't have so much impact. They criticize that because during the elections, people tend to know the important issue of our countries by reading and by watching the media. But when they cast a vote, the media doesn't have too much impact of their people's decisions and people's voting decisions. Voting, you know what, 투표 in Korean, voting is a behavior, right? In terms of behavior levels, media don't have much impact. That's the critical points. And during the 1940s, a lot of people criticized that. Media, okay, media is really strong in terms of perceptual level and cognitive levels. But attitude levels and behavior levels, media has big points and impacts. That's actually new points suggested by people and scholars during the 1940s. That's why we call limited media effects. Limited media effect, not a strong media effect, limited media effect. And then a lot of studies done about propaganda effects, and then they found that not strong we expected. A little effect, actually less than we expected in terms of a propaganda of the media. that's another point. Why we have limited effect perspective right at the World War II. And a lot of studies done about voting behavior during the election campaigns, and then they found that less effect of the media on voting decisions. You know, one point actually, I study the media impacts on voting decision in the United States as PhD degrees. So I wrote my PhD dissertation about media impact on the voting decisions. So very interesting topics, right? That's political communication we call. And I spent 5 years to write that kind of studies in the United States to get the PhD degree. And then I taught in the Chicago University 5 years about the media effect on the voting decisions. Okay, that's good. That's good so far. And then when I came back Korea, 9 years ago, Korea University, the people asked me, what's your major? What's your interesting area, your studies? So I said that media's impact on the political decision in Korea, especially elections. And then I said that how much media impact on voting decision in Korea, that's my main interest, my main research interest. But my expectation collapsed. Why? Why my research interest is collapsed? Because in Korea, not much media impact on the voting decisions. Because most of the Korean peoples tended to vote by media or their geographical locations. Southern area. If they live Busan, they don't care about how media reports. They always report this part. If you live in Gwangju city, that's western southern city in Korea, they don't care about how media reports. They always report democratic parties, the candidates of democratic parties. So, I don't need a study. I don't need a research about the political impact of the media in Korea. That's really common sense, right? So I gave up, and then I turned to new media, internet media, and SNS. I expected a lot of impact of the media on voting decisions in Korea, but that's hard to tell. Powerful effect, really limited effect. So, limited effect is part of the criticism about the media doesn't have so much impact. Media doesn't have strong impact on the behavior levels and attitude levels. That's another the critical points. And little media influence found that cultivating research of limited effect. That's actually dominant paradigm, limited media effect theories and paradigm during 1950s and 1960s, 20 years. So, powerful effect research paradigm, 1920s, 1930s, and first half of the 1940s. And limited media effect paradigm, second half of the 1940s, and 1950s and 1960s, okay? So moving on. And then what about the 1970s? Okay, just I want to moving on this, the two-step goal. Because this is part of the limited effect, 1940s. I'll give you more specific lecture about these theories, okay? So moving on, moderate effect study. 1970s, okay? So powerful, limited, and moderate. That's actually change of the media effect paradigm. moderate effect. Especially moderate effect paradigm emerged as television became the dominant media in our history in 1970s. In 1970s, TV, wow, that's amazing knowledge at the time. Until today, TV is a really important part of our lives, right? We cannot live, we cannot imagine without TV. So, as a TV became the important media, now people tend to start to think about, hey, media is not important. Media is really important. Not as strong as the important thing is to change ourselves, but media still is important technologies. Because, hey, look at the TV, right? TV has so much impact in our lives. So we have to study again. We have to study again about media. So more moderate. You know what moderate means? More than limited, less than powerful. So I can draw a diagram. This is actually 1910 to 1940s. Okay, this is just powerful. We say powerful. Powerful means that, and then rapidly drop to limited, right? Limited meaning that time period since 1940 to 1960s, and then a little recovery of the media effects. That's what we call right here. Moderate media effect research, moderate media effect paradigm. But moderate is more than limit, but still less than half. Or middle points, right? Or middle points. In terms of size of the media effects, so moderate. And then today, this is actually TV was really important factors to recover of the media effect paradigm to moderate in 1960s. But what about today? A little more, okay? A little more right here. So we call the strong. Now we say strong media effect paradigm. Strong media effect paradigm, but still less than powerful because this is almost 100%. Brilliant. But really, that's killing people. That's 100%. No exceptions, right? So this is 100% media effect. It's very powerful. And limited, what about? This is a good 20 and 30 in terms of size of the media. And moderate, it's about 50 and 60s, and strong in the 70s and 80s. If I calculate a little bit based on the previous studies. And now is we back to the strong media effect paradigm, especially as internet becomes very important technology, and SNS becomes very important another technologies. So now is everybody will be there. Now everybody will be there. Media has very strong effect on our society and individuals, not only for the perception levels and even behavior levels. This is actually diagrams, based on the history of media effect paradigm, and then during this semester, we learn a lot about, a lot of effect theories, media effect theories, right here. from next week. Bullet theory, propaganda models, SMCRE models. Okay, a lot of media effect theories of the powerful paradigms from next week. And then moving on, we're going to learn about, we're going to talk about a couple of the communication theories of the limited paradigms. So one of that is, in slides, PowerPoint slides, two-step flow theories, right? Two-step flow theories is part of the slides, my lecture note. That's one example of the limited effect paradigms. And then moving on, probably right after the midterm exam, we're going to talk about moderate media effect theories. Example, agenda setting theory, and part of the silent theories, and the other person theories, and diffusion theories. A lot of moderate effect paradigm communication theories being covered. And then today, another strong media effect paradigm will cover about priming theories and framing theories. And one of my theories, reverse the agenda setting theories. You are lucky because you learn from the original scholar who coined the communication theory, reverse the agenda setting. Okay? Okay, that's very big pictures of the media research paradigm. Okay, questions? Right. 90-20.
Yeah. How come it's wrong right now?
That's hard to measure. That's hard to measure, but this is actually in terms of size of media effects and assumptions. The scholars actually assume that that's 100%. If I send this, you receive the same thing, 100%. That's really powerful. But today, we know that even though you send 100%, the effect size is based on the receiver's characteristics. I don't interest in that, right? Receiver's characteristics change the size of the effect. Probably that's not 100%. It's less than 100%. Not necessarily you can say the effect of the size, because really good questions. Because today we say the media society, right? We expose too much and too many different media compared to the traditional society, 1920s. But regardless of the amount of the time you expose, but still the size of the effect is measured based on the assumption. But at the time, we say 100%. But today, we have a lot of focus on the characteristics of receivers rather than media themselves. Good question, actually. The one answer for that. In terms of agenda setting, okay, I'll teach you about the agenda setting theory. I'm my kids, my child. My son is actually now 12 years old. He's the first grade of the middle schools. He played golf. And always I'm interested in the stories about the golf, sports, because I'm interested in that sports for my kids, my son. If so, I'm very interested in sports. You are very interested in entertaining news. Media report sports and entertaining news simultaneously. I selectively expose to sports news. She selectively expose the entertaining news, right? This is not 100%. I selectively choose what I'm interested in. That's actually the effect side. That's media effect is based on receiver and audience characteristics, right? They didn't care about that at the time, receivers and audience, right? They always care about their media themselves. Now, we more care about the audience. people and politics. That's the reason a little difference of the effect of the media size compared with the 1920s and 2000.